Thoughts for an Evolving World. Turner's syndrome people and Klinefelter syndrome people and Kalman syndrome people. I want to discuss certain things with you, and they all revolve around the one word. Yes, you know the word. I won't even say the word, because you know exactly what I mean. Wikipedia describes this word as the state of a living thing of a gonochoristic species whose sex chromosomes, genitalia, and or secondary sex characteristics are determined to be neither exclusively male nor exclusively female. An intersex organism may have biological characteristics of both the male and female sexes. Let me say that again. An intersex organism may have biological characteristics of both the male and female sexes. Intersexuality is the term adopted by medicine during the 20th century applied to human beings whose biological sex cannot be classified as either male or female. Intersexuality is also the word adopted by the identitary political movement to criticize medical protocols in sex assignment and to claim the right to be heard in the construction of a new one. So that's a Wikipedia intersexuality definition. I clicked on something, didn't I? It brought me somewhere else, which I can't find now, amazingly. I was on intersex organizations, exactly. These are under the category of disorders and scope. Of course, I don't believe with disorder. Sachs's strict definition of intersex is most relevant to family practice and psychological research. Other interest groups serve different communities and concerns, and so broaden the definition of intersex in these fields. For instance, the Intersex Society of North America, the ISNA, definition states that the following conditions sometimes involve intersex anatomy. And these are as follows. Number 1, 5-alpha reductase deficiency. Number 2, androgen insensitivity syndrome. Number 3, aphalia. Number 4, clitoromegaly. Number 5, congenital adrenal hyperplasia. The next one, gonadal dysgenesis, partial and complete. Next one, hypospadias or hypospadias. Kalman syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, micropenis mosaicism involving sex chromosomes. MORKH, Mullerian agenesis, vaginal agenesis, congenital absence of vagina. Ovotestes, formerly called true hermaphroditism. Partial androgen insensitivity syndrome. Progestin-induced virilization, though that's in red, no explanation there. Then Swire syndrome and Turner syndrome. At the very end of this paragraph it says, and at the end of this section it says, some people with some of these conditions, such as Kalman syndrome and Turner syndrome, do not self-identify as intersex. Okay, that's what it says on Wikipedia. Please check that out. My little notes on this subject are that Turner syndrome people are known as females with one X. No double X, no XY, just an X. Klinefelter syndrome people actually are not just XXY people. There's a lot of people also under the same umbrella term as Klinefelter syndrome, which in my opinion is not concise, precise enough. But the point about Klinefelters is that many Klinefelters people are, if not all, they're all classified as males. Turner syndrome as females, Klinefelter syndrome as males. Now, I have huge issues, as many people who watch my videos know. I have huge issues on those statements. I think it's a joke that a person with one X is classified a female just because they look like a female. And I think that XXY males shouldn't be called males just because they look more like males. You know, if an XXY is left untreated, most XXYs, not every XXY, but if most XXYs are untreated with hormone therapy and without surgery, most XXYs will actually have breasts. They will have visible breasts, you know, and more than likely they will have sparse facial and body hair, meaning they will look very feminine in appearance with breasts and lack of hair. And yeah, also Klinefelter syndrome people in general have got rounded hips, and many girlfriends of myself have often commented on how soft my skin is and how female or feminine my body is in structure and also in movement. And that's me. I'm not labeling, blanketing every single Klinefelter syndrome XXY out there, but I am saying to a lot of you that there's too much of a variety of XXYs to actually classify our whole species as male. Also, Turner syndrome, I can imagine, is the same story. Some people don't fit into the category of Turner syndrome, probably. But I can't speak for Turner syndrome because I'm not Turner syndrome. I'm Klinefelter syndrome, technically speaking. If I go into a doctor's surgery and say that I'm XXY, they'll go, Klinefelter syndrome, you know. So in that level I can't get away from being Klinefelter syndrome. I think syndrome, the word syndrome, brings up a negative. It brings up handicappedness in people's brains. When they hear that you've got a syndrome, they immediately think of the most famous of syndromes, which is Down syndrome. And many doctors will say to you in XXY that, well, you're lucky to even be XXY, because if you weren't XXY, you were probably going to end up being Down syndrome, which is just pure speculation from a doctor's point of view. And it's very insulting to people who are Down syndrome, or who have Down syndrome. I think that we've got to get to a point in the future now where the intersex society of the world, and not America, not North America, please, not people from North America just dictating to the world what we are and what we aren't. Big transsexual reality out there. People are not feeling right in themselves as the sex that they technically look like. And so that's proof enough for me that something needs to be changed, altered, that we need to expand the menu, expand the choices, give more choices to people to tick off, you know, so they can tick exactly what they are and not just tick male and female. It's very, very much like years and years ago in Ireland when I filled out forms, application forms for say for unemployment. I would have done that, and they would say religion basically was a section of religion. There wouldn't be a space, a box available to click or tick that said atheist or agnostic, you know, which are separate religions, by the way. Atheism, they're as strong as the religious. They believe there is no God. Whereas an agnostic, which I would be, is somebody that can't say for definite. So I won't be so rude and obnoxious to say that I know there isn't, or I know there is a God. So I'm agnostic. But there was no box to tick in those days when I was younger. They didn't make a box available. So it's exactly the same thing here regarding gender and sex. And I will fight, as in not physically, but I will fight with Turner syndrome and Klinefelter syndrome. Anybody that, when I say fight, I mean argue, okay, just to get that right. But I do want to argue this. I want to argue the point that well, Turners aren't females and Klinefelters aren't males. We might look like the respective sexes that I've just mentioned there, but we're not. Because science has to get it right again, and the only way science is going to get it right is to actually listen to people. So let's hope they do listen in the future. Ciao, people. Peace.